Hi everyone! Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. My name is Ruth Burke of Soulfully Me here on YouTube and Instagram, and I am so happy to be here today. Life has been crazy. We've had sick kids, we've had work busyness, we've had church busyness, we've had family busyness. I had previously been recording all of my videos on Sunday afternoons, and Sunday afternoon is not a good time for me anymore. So, needless to say, it has taken me several weeks to figure out that maybe, just maybe, I should try Saturday afternoon. So we'll see. I really hope this is my time because I miss chatting with you about what I've been working on, and I'm just so happy to be back. A few quick updates for everyone. I am officially a person on YouTube now, so all of my links are clickable. I try to have links to everything I mention in the description box down below, so just if you hear me mention a pattern or a blog or anything like that, check below. Chances are I have a link for it. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. It's actually fun for me to answer questions about my crafting, so don't be shy. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into my projects. Oh, I should say that I usually show my sewing, knitting, and cross-stitch projects in that order. So I will start with what I've been working on in sewing, and then we'll jump into knitting and then cross-stitch. So here we go, sewing. So the first thing I'd like to share is my progress on the pattern from this issue of American Patchwork and Quilting. It is actually my fall quilt. In the magazine, it's kind of more of like a summer, I don't know, what do you think that is? Summery? I guess it could be fall. But anyway, this is a pattern called 9-Patch Square Dance by Sherry McConnell of A Quilting Life. The pattern is available for purchase in her Etsy shop, and of course I'll link it below. I have been using Cider by Basic Gray for my quilts, and I finally have blocks to share everybody. So I'm going to put this magazine to the side here and hold up my blocks. So I only have the blues. I'm going to start with my least favorite. I don't love this block, but here's one. I don't love this because that orange is just not working for me. But that's my least favorite block, so this one will probably go in like the bottom of my quilt somewhere. The rest of them I love. I don't know. I'm just a light background girl for the most part. So I hope you don't mind. I'm going to show you all my blue blocks. And I'm super happy with the lighting here. I hope you can see this. These were really fun. The actual construction of the blocks, it didn't take me very long. And it went pretty fast. I had all my 9 patches sewed up. I just trimmed my charm squares to the dimensions listed in the pattern and got right to sewing. I switched out. Most of these have like a different print in the middle of the block, and that's the part that that's why I sewed all my 9 patches first, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I evenly distributed all of my colors, that I didn't have this whole like random blue that didn't match anything left. So here it matches. This is, I think, the only block where the center matches the rest. And you can see I had some directional fabrics in here, so I did try to keep them pointing all the same direction wherever I could. And here we go. That's it. Last block. So that was a lot of fun. And I know that I mentioned I was going to make a scrap project with all those scraps. And so I am just going to grab those scraps, that scrap project, and I'll be right back. Okay, I found my scrap project. I live in a small house, and you would be surprised how long it can take to find some things. So I am making 4-inch log cabin blocks with this log cabin paper from Fat Quarter Shop. And I have 2 blocks to show you. And these are tiny, everyone. These are so tiny. So I am making these blocks with my scraps, and I have sketched out a design using 16 of these blocks for a throw pillow to match my quilt. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think they are so cute, and the paper makes them so much easier to make. I love the foundation paper from Fat Quarter Shop. It sews easily, it tears easily. Can't say enough good things about it. So I love that project. It's been a ton of fun. I'm so excited I had it to share with you today because it's fun. I also discovered that I can use the trimmings from my charm squares from that pattern to make those blocks. I thought they might be too small, but it turns out they're not. So I have even more scraps to use for my scrap project. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm probably going to have too many scraps. So maybe I'll make 2 pillows. We'll see. So that is Cider and my 9-patch square dance quilt and scraps. And so then I went on and I made some of my block of the month blocks. This is from the 2022 Designer Mystery. I had to think there. Designer Mystery quilt from Fat Quarter Shop. This was a block of the month pattern last year. I love this block. I had so much fun making it, and this was easy. It was, like I said, it was fun. I enjoyed it. So that was that block. And I also made the block from this year's Designer Mystery 2023 block month. Oh my gosh. I just saw that string. Sorry, everybody. Threads everywhere. My 2-year-old is so cute. She calls it my sewing. She said, "Mommy, you're covered in your sewing." It's so cute. So this is my block. I love it. It was really fun to sew. I also made project bags. I'm super excited about this. So last time I filmed an episode, I think I showed you all my project bag panel. This is the Pride and Prejudice project bag panel. So I also had ordered the Lori Holt Happy Zippers 2. Happy Zippers 2, yep, Happy Zipper 2. You can see I used some. Happy Zipper 2. And guess what? So when I was going through it, I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to use all these colors. And I specifically named a dark blue and, what did I say? Probably this yellow and this green. I said I wouldn't be able to use these colors. Well, guess what, everyone? I've already used the dark blue in this small project bag and more threads. Here is my small size project bag. I used the blue Happy Zipper 2 zipper from Lori Holt's Happy Zippers 2 collection. Turned out beautifully. I used the YouTube video tutorial from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch on how to make these zipper project bags. So it has fully enclosed. Let me just show you the inside. Fully enclosed. I lined this with Lori Holt's gray cross stitch. Everything is fully enclosed, fully lined. I did not use any interfacing in these bags. The project panels printed on decorator weight cotton, so it's a little bit heavier. And I thought this was sturdy enough on its own. For this type of bag, I don't think I need like a hugely stiff bag. I'm fine if it's just a little bit floppy. And again, this decorator weight cotton provides enough structure that I think this bag turned out really well just on its own. So first one I made, and then I went ahead and made a large project bag using the pink zipper from the Happy Zipper 2 collection from Lori Holt. Love this. I love how it turned out. I love the pink. So like I said, I didn't think I was going to be able to use that dark blue zipper. I already did. The pink is probably my favorite zipper, of course. But these two, they go together. I'm probably going to keep my threads in this bag, project in this bag, and just throw this bag inside this bag for storage. I can't wait to put my pattern in cloth and everything in this bag. I'm so excited. But I wanted to, show it to you before I filled it with stuff. And again, I used the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial for this bag. Fully enclosed, seams. It looks great. Oh, I should show you the back. Here's the back. And here's the back on the smaller bag. I love this red print. And yes, this is the orientation it was. Like, it looks like it should be, you know, like this. But the way the project panel had it printed, it goes like this. So, you know, that's what happens when you buy a panel. It's however they, you know, lined it up. So, if I wanted to, if I really cared that much, I probably could have bought more yardage. But I love these fabrics. I love Jane Austen, so of course, I'm going to love Pride and Prejudice project bags. Say that 10 times fast. Okay, so the last sewing project I have to show you. I can't believe that I actually completed a quilt since my last video, but I did. It's a mini quilt. This is the mini twirl quilt from Fig Tree, and I can link to the pattern below. I used an out-of-print collection called Farmhouse for the leaves on the front of this quilt, which I'm about to show you, and then I used her, not her latest collection, but one that came out semi-recently. I think it actually came out last year, called Fresh Fig Favorites, for the outer and inner borders, the stems on the leaves, and my backing. So here is my mini quilt. Wow, I can't believe I can fit this in the frame for you all. There you go. Mini quilt. I'll try to move this a little closer so you can see some of those prints. I can't really see what you're seeing, so I'm just kind of blindly doing this here. Yep. So, like I said, the stem fabrics, this gray inner border and orange outer border are all from the collection from last year, Fresh Fig Favorites. You know, there's a small chance that might even have been from 2021, y'all. Like this crazy. And I did not buy backing, so I made a backing from all my leftover fabric, and I'm super excited that I will not have any leftover fabric. So here's my pieced backing. This is half of it. It's folded in half. I just used, along with the fabric strips from the fabric that I bought for the front, and then this aqua is actually going to be my binding. So I cut my binding strips. I have my binding all sewn, pressed, ready to go. This quilt is ready to go off to my quilter, and I couldn't be happier. I have a whole mini quilt done and out of my project bins. I am so excited to have a bin empty and I can start a new project. Of course, my whole motivation for getting my projects done is so I can go buy more fabric. Yay. Just kidding. Well, not really. I am going to buy more fabric. Oh, and I had a question, well, not a question, a comment from one of my friends who was watching one of my earlier videos, and I think I said something in one of my early videos about being embarrassed that it took me a year or two to finish something. And I just want to say that this quilt, for example, I bought the charm pack for this quilt at least 8 or 9 years ago, probably, at this point. At least. Because the quilt shop that I bought it from went out of business 7 years ago, 6 years ago. I mean, this fabric is on the older side. But I have a whole bin of works in progress that I haven't even showed you. Some of those projects are 12 years old. I started sewing again when I was pregnant with my oldest. So that would have been like 13 or 14 years ago. I guess 13 years ago at this point. That was 2010. Yeah. So my oldest sewing projects are 13 years old because that's when I started sewing again after taking a break through high school and college and, you know, post-college life. So the big reason I don't have, you know, 25-year-old works in progress is because I haven't been sewing for 25 years yet. I've been sewing for 13, but I have 13-year-old works in progress. So that just shows you, you know, sometimes it can take a while. This one was sitting in my bin of projects to make for 7 years, 8 years. And I just bought the outer border fabric recently because I decided, you know what, I really want to make this quilt. So I'm really happy to have this done. It feels like it's been a work in progress for 7 years, even though it hasn't. I started it and completed it this October. But I am so happy to have this done. It feels really good. So that is all my sewing. I am going to move my sewing projects out of the way, grab my knitting, grab my cross stitch, and meet you back here with my knitting and cross stitch. See you in a minute. I'm here with my knitting and my cross stitch. Yay! So excited. So, as usual, I don't have much knitting. I feel sad saying that because I really do love knitting, but let's face it, I find cross stitch and sewing so much more relaxing than knitting these days. So, at least for the foreseeable future, my knitting segment's going to be pretty short. It would be a little bit longer, except that I took a break because I discovered, well, I didn't discover, but I visited for the first time a yarn company that's actually based in my neighborhood, which is so cool. It's called Kelburn Woolens, and it's right here in Philadelphia, literally 4 or 5 minutes from my house. And I took my kids, I think I took all of them, at least the younger 3, possibly all of them, to the yarn store, and they went nuts. They all bought yarn. Of course I did. Of course I bought yarn. Which I actually left all the yarn I bought upstairs, so I'll have to grab that and show it to you next time. But I did bring one down to show you because my 2-year-old, who loves pink, took this yarn off the shelf. It's a worsted weight American wool yarn, you know, nothing fancy. She grabbed this, started walking around the store with it like this, and then when I asked her if I could please have it to put it back on the shelf, she refused and said, "Make me a pink hat." So, of course, when your 2-year-old, first of all, I love pink, so I'm not complaining about buying pink yarn. And when your 2-year-old says, "Make me a pink hat," you make her a pink hat. So I made her a pink hat. Here's the pink hat I knit. It was from a free, I don't have a hat pattern that fits her. So I went on the internet and found a free hat pattern written for worsted weight yarn. Basic, you know, ribbed brim. That's all. I just wanted a basic hat. I will link the tutorial, the website I used below in case you're interested, in case you have worsted weight yarn hanging around. So there's the hat for my 2-year-old. And besides that, the only other knitting project I did, I'm looking for the picture here to show you. Here we go. Knit collage mittens from Susan Anderson. I bought the kit for this. I've shown the yarn in my last 2 videos, and I completed 1 mitten. If this mitten looks small, there is a good reason for that. She says this multiple times in her pattern, but if you only buy 1 skein of the knit collage yarn, you have to be super careful because you're going to basically use all but a few inches of it. And I was so scared of not having enough yarn that I held my yarn really tightly. I'm a tight knitter. I actually had to make that pink hat twice because the first time I held my yarn too tightly and the gauge was off and I forgot to measure my gauge. It's a whole thing. I hate doing gauge swatches. I need to stop it. I just need to make gauge swatches because it would save me time. I literally knit an entire hat and then frogged the whole thing to make another one. So I don't know why. I just need to make gauge swatches. But anyway, I held this yarn. So I'm a tight knitter telling you I held the yarn tight. This mitten is a lot smaller than it should be. But I have small hands. You can't tell in this YouTube video, but I do. And so it actually works. Now, I bought yarn for an inner cuff here, so it's actually going to have a cuff that extends. I'll show you in this picture. It's actually going to have like an inner cuff here that extends down my wrist. So it's not going to be as bad as it looks here where, you know, it looks like my wrist is barely going to be covered. I love these flowers, by the way, and the sparkle. I love everything about this. So now, of course, my challenge is to hold the yarn basically just as tightly the next time I make one so they match. I don't know why I do this to myself. But I have learned my lesson. Next time, buy 2 skeins so you don't have to worry. I can hold my yarn my regular tightness and only wind up with, you know, a medium small mitten. But anyway, so that's what I did. I love it. It's beautiful. It's every bit as gorgeous as I thought it would be. And at the end of the day, if this pair winds up being just a little bit too small for me, I will give it to one of my kids, buy myself more yarn. Yay! Love an excuse to buy more yarn and knit myself another pair. But the pattern, easy to follow. I love Susan's directions. If you have this kit, don't hold your yarn that tightly. I think I'm going to wind up with plenty of yarn. But, yeah, this was fun. All right, so now we're gonna move on to cross stitch. If I can get my knitting out of the way here. Okay, cross stitch. I have done a lot of cross stitch, and I unzipped my bags. I don't have fancy project bags yet because I just started sewing my own. So I'm using these generic zipper plastic bags with tags on them labeled for the project. But I mentioned in my last video, I got that 28 count pale gingham. Here it is. This is the 28 count, and I finally started this new pattern, I Would Rather Be Stitching by Primrose Cottage Stitchers. And here is, make sure I hold this right side up, my tiny start. Trying to make sure the lighting is kind of okay on that. I think that's showing pretty true to color. So this was a lot of fun. As you can see, I haven't gotten very far, but I enjoyed it. And I've also worked a little bit on this ABC pattern, also by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Sorry, my thread's in the way there. Whew, there we go. So this is how far I am. I'm almost done. I'm really almost done. Last time I showed it to you, I said I was almost done, but I'm like really almost done now. So I can't wait to finish that up and to figure out how I'm going to fully finish it, or FFO it for cross stitchers. That is stitched on 14 count pale gingham by Fabric Flair, and I'm using 2 stitches over 1 Aida square. This is the pattern ABC by Primrose Cottage Stitchers. So that's my first project that I worked on a little bit. That's not like one of my main ones, but I did work on it a little bit. My next project is Rejoice Evermore by Brenda Gervais. Oh, sorry for the glare there. Of With Thy Needle and Thread. I am stitching this on 36 count. Yes, 36 count needle bling heirloom, which I purchased at In Stitch's cross stitch shop in Alexandria. Here is how far I've gotten. So I'm almost done with my top border, and I started going down the side there. I love this pattern and the colors, the threads. I love everything about it. I have all my threads on floss drops here. I think these are actually floss drops I made. I still have to film that special to talk about making floss drops, but there you can see the floss on the fabric. I love it. I love it. That was a lot of fun. Just throwing it back in my project bag here. Sorry for the zipper noise again, but it's a lot easier on me if I can just put it back in the bag when I'm done talking about it. All right, my next project, This Is the Day, which is also on 36 count. This is on 36 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. Wait, did I say that the pale gray gingham was Fiber on a Whim, or did I say Fabric Flair? If I missaid it, I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, I made a lot of progress on this since my last Flosstube, or floss, whatever you call these. There you go. That's my progress so far. So I am done with the first page of the pattern. I think there are like 6 pages. So what I'm doing is when I finish a page, I'm going in and adding, like on this bee here, I did some straight stitch. I'm just doing whatever's on that page, I'm putting it in because I don't want to forget. So now I'm on the second page. I'm super excited. I started at the bottom left of the design. And I'm also using this same linen to do the poppy pattern by Hello from Liz Matthews. And that's how far I am. So I don't think I've done anything on that. I just saw that, so I thought I'd share it. But I don't think I've really stitched anything on the poppy since my last episode. And just in case you're wondering, This Is the Day is by Plum Street Samplers. Here's the pattern cover for that. And the Hello from Liz Matthews pattern. I bought the PDF download. I will link to her Etsy shop. This is what I'm doing this colorway. And I am using, for the Hello from Liz Matthews, I'm using the called for MPI silks. On the 36 count, I'm using 1 strand over 2 threads. And for the Plum Street samplers, I'm using all the called for over dyes and DMCs. And I'm also using 1 strand over 2 threads. Oh, sorry guys. I try not to zip up my bags, but I forget sometimes. It makes a lot of noise. Alright, I am really excited to show you this because I have done a lot of stitching on this. This is Flea Market Flowers from Lori Holt, and I am stitching this on 25 count. I will put the fabric name at the bottom of the screen because I'm blanking. But it is 25 count. I'm using all of the called for DMCs except my yellow. I am using DMC 3821 as my yellow. And here is my progress. I made a lot of progress. Last time I showed this to you, I think I was over here in this square. I finished this square, I did this square, and now I moved on to that motif. And honestly, I'm kind of sad that I'm making progress on this so quickly because I was really hoping this would be like a long-term stitch. And it's going really fast, and I'm kind of sad because I'm really enjoying it. I love the colors. I love all the color changes. I love that each motif is kind of like its own block, and so you get this sense of progress, but you also get this sense like you completed something, which these days for me is a great feeling because I often feel like I have so many projects going and nothing getting done. So I just love that pattern. So that's been a lot of fun. And the last one that I've actively stitched on is Doodle's Winter by Heart and Hand. I am using all of the called for over-dyed flosses on 32 count linen from Zweigart that Hobby Lobby sold, and I don't think they sell this anymore. I have been looking on their website for this linen. They don't sell this anymore. So that's my progress. I've actually done quite a bit since the last time I showed this. It's been a lot of fun. I actually enjoy stitching on 32 count even more now than when I started this pattern because I discovered I don't need glasses to see the linen threads. I really enjoy not using glasses in the evenings, but the crosses are small enough. It just makes me happy. I don't know. I like small crosses. So the 36 count makes me happy, but I need glasses to see the threads. 32 count also makes me happy, and I don't need glasses. So it's kind of a, I guess maybe a sweet spot for me right now. What do I want to say about this? All the called for threads, I think I already said that. 2 strands over 2 threads, if I didn't say that before. And yeah, that's it. I'm enjoying it. The last thing I wanted to share, I forgot to share this, my last Flosstube. I ordered from Hollis Hands Creates Etsy shop some Mayflower linen by Fox and Rabbit. This is my first piece of Fox and Rabbit linen, and I love it. It's 32 count. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to use this, and I am going to use this linen for my last 4 for 40 chart that I haven't started, which is The Winter is Past by Blackbird Designs. I haven't started this yet, but I've decided I'm using the Mayflower linen. I'm switching out my threads right now. These are the colors that I have. You can see I threw a pink in there, and I actually, let me see if I can show this to you. Where's my design board when I need it? Throw this on a design board. Sorry for the threads on my design board, everyone. So, I don't know if you can see that, but that's kind of, I think that pink will bring out the pink in the fabric and look really nice. That's what I have going so far. If I change it, I will let you know, but I have a thing for pink and blue. I absolutely love the combination, and I think it's going to look really pretty. So the only other thing I have to figure out are the yellows in the pattern, because I think it does need a pop of either like a yellow green or a yellow. So I'm still playing with floss colors, but I'm almost ready to start it, and I feel like I'm just going to start with what I have and then adding colors as I go along. If you've made this chart and you have any suggestions on color changes, let me know. but that's what I'm thinking right now. That's it, everyone. That's what I've done for the last month and change. I will be filming a Flosstube special on how I made my own floss drops. I had some, I don't remember what I did with them. I'll find them, but I cut some floss, oh, I know where they are. They're right here. I cut some floss drops out of pretty paper, and I wanted to show them to you. Here you go. I printed these on cardstock and cut them out, and I'll go into more detail in my floss drop video, but I love blue and yellow, the combination, so yeah, I made those. So I'll be filming a special with just some more details I did, what paper I used, any recommendations I have to offer. I am not an expert, but I'm just going to share what I did in case anyone's interested or needs the information. So that's it for now. I will hopefully be back in about a month with another update. A month from now is going to be Thanksgiving week, so we'll see. Maybe it's going to be a month and a week. But sometime around the end of November, I'll be posting another video. Until then, I hope you guys all have a great month. I hope you get some stitching in, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye!